So pretty much from about 8 weeks old, he was a very noisy sort of eater. So he was pretty abnormal, we thought, but hospitals kind of passed it off as it was just what it was. Anyway, he was at a paediatrician appointment in South Australia. Shannon was there with him, and he pretty much stopped breathing and went all kinds of funny colours and had to be revived and pretty much on the spot. And cut a long story short, they found that he was aspirating on his feet, pretty much going to his lungs, and he was drowning. So he was
born with what they
Shannon
call
knows more technical stuff, so she's the better one to speak about it.
He was born with what they call bilateral vocal cord palsy. So basically, his vocal cords are paralysed in the middle position.
Just if you can, the vocal cords are paralysed.
So basically, the vocal cords are paralysed in the middle position. So he breathed and his airway would close open, and when food would go down, it would just go straight down into his lungs. So we had to basically tube feed him, and he ended up with lots and lots of pneumonia in his lungs because even when he swallowed saliva, he would drown. And then at about 12 months of age, he started to take a turn for the worse. He had a lot of developmental delays. They said he'd never walk, they said he'd never talk. Told us a lot of things that he would never do. And then by about 12 months, he started to deteriorate and his stomach started to stop functioning. And then we moved here in October 14 and his stomach had just totally stopped functioning. So we had to put him on intravenous feeds and basically try and figure out why on earth his little body doesn't feed properly and doesn't function. So he's had lots and lots of major surgeries and had to be revived a few times because he's decided not to be with us, but we've got him back and he's had just a major surgery 3 weeks ago now. 3 weeks ago now to undo. They had his stomach wrapped to his esophagus to prevent him from being able to throw up, because if he throws up he drowns. But we've tried to undo that to see if, now that he's a little bit older, whether his little body will actually cope with being able to throw up, because he could never burp or anything like that. So now his surgery is in the hope that we can continue to feed him. So he's hooked up to this little backpack invention that my brother created to try and get him mobile and moving, and that just feeds him 24 hours a day. If we stop feeding him, he drops his sugars and he goes into a coma and he's not with us. So we just have to make sure we constantly feed him and keep an eye on him. So yeah, in brief, that's his story.
And financially, is this maybe?
Oh, the impacts are huge because of all his conditions, and this little bag alone is $750 for a box of 30, and you're supposed to use one a day, basically. And all this little bag does is just drain the air out of his body, because the more air he gets in, he gets obstructions, and then his body thinks that he can't feed, so it stops feeding, and then again he goes into a little coma on us, and yeah.
So that's $750, say a month of these things,
Yeah,
but he needs
those,
one
yeah.
a day. So everybody over there would have heard about the bags that he needs, and he's had this contraption. Now, can I talk to you, because we were talking outside, who is your favourite, what's your favourite toy? Who do you love?
That's what I know, you know. You're talking about
Transform? Thomas the Train? Oh, I love Thomas the Train. Yeah.
And Star Wars.
That's Star Wars, that's lucky. You love that. And you love Star. And what about Transformers? You like Transformers? Oh, Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig, I knew that would have come out, I knew. Well look, chaps, and look, I know. There's Mum Peppa Pig, there's Dad Peppa Pig, who else is there? There's what? Oh, there we go. Alright, I know, look, we thank you for coming along, and I know it might be a little bit embarrassing while we're doing the we don't mind if you want to hang around. The hospitality's there, if you feel a bit embarrassed, just go. We hope that we're going to do something special for you today, and Nick, I'd say well done, mate, that's fantastic. Chaps, that's what we were here for, and yes, sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay, all right. Well, we're seeing what's happening here. We really appreciate it. We hope we can help out, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. No worries.